Forget your bike computer. Your smartphone is the best e-bike display. Smartphone and app instead of a bike computer? We are convinced that conventional e-bike displays will soon be history. In this video, you will find out why we are convinced of this and what makes your smartphone the ideal e-bike display. Did you know that with the right app, you no longer need an extra display for your e-bike? In fact, your smartphone is the better alternative. In this video, we will reveal why a smartphone and an app are an unbeatable combination for managing e-bikes. PowUnity is an expert in e-bike software. I'm Matthias from PowUnity, and in this episode we will dive into the topic of e-bike apps. If this topic interests you, then you have landed on the right channel. Subscribe to the PowUnity channel here and become part of our powerful community. Are you ready? Then let's start right away with the central question. Why are smartphones so suitable as e-bike displays? At first glance, a bike computer resembles a smartphone. Both devices have a screen and receive, process and display data. You can communicate with your bike via both devices, but there is one big difference. Modern smartphones are much more powerful than any bike computer. An iPhone, for example, is a kind of a mini computer for your pocket. No bike computer can compete with that. Therefore, it sounds like a good idea to use this mini computer for your bike. On top of that, you probably have your smartphone with you all the time. However, the prerequisite for using your smartphone as an e-bike display is that your smartphone communicates with your e-bike. For this purpose, many modern e-bikes have either a Bluetooth interface or the connection is established using a data logger. But why does it make sense to use a smartphone as a bike computer? One reason is that the display of modern smartphones are much larger than the screens of bike computers. They are also high resolution and can display in color. This makes it easier to read data while riding, even at high speeds and off-road. In addition, more setting options and more functions are available to you with good e-bike apps than with a bike computer. And you can even save money. Although a good smartphone is more expensive than a display, you probably already have it anyway, even if you don't need it for your e-bike yet. But what about disadvantages of smartphones as bike computers? Well, there are some, but they are negligible in our opinion. For example, you can't just get on a bike and start your ride. Before you set off, you first need to attach your smartphone to the bike. However, it is so quick with many modern phone holders that you hardly notice any difference. The fear of breaking your phone is not an argument either. Let's be honest, whether you have your smartphone on the handlebars or in your pocket doesn't make much of a difference in the event of a fall. And rain is also not an issue, because most modern smartphones are waterproof anyway. And if you want to be on the safe side, you can simply buy a holder with a rain cover. By the way, I can also help you find a suitable bike mount. Just have a look at our article E-bike phone holders, e-bike, road and smartphone at a glance, and you will find out what to look out for when buying a phone holder. You can find the link here in the video description. But do you have to choose between a bike computer and a smartphone? Well, not with every e-bike. Innovative e-bike manufacturers equip their e-bikes with a mini display, which consists only of a switch to turn it on, a plus-minus switch for selecting between support levels, and a small LED display that shows the support level and the battery status of the e-bike. The advantage of such a mini display is that you have the choice of what to use and when. If you go for a short ride and forget your smartphone, you still have the small display. But on longer trips, you can use your smartphone. You might be wondering why most e-bikes still have their own display, even though a smartphone is much more suitable. Well, one reason for this is that the cycling industry likes to stick with tried and tested. In addition, many e-bike apps, perhaps you know this from your own experience, are not yet fully developed. Most of them come from e-bike manufacturers or motor manufacturers, who are not necessarily the best software developers. Independent developers, on the other hand, have a hard time because there are still only a few standard elements and interfaces. We are certain that in the near future the smartphone will become the standard e-bike display, and the traditional e-bike display will gradually phase out. However, before that happens, it is crucial that bike computer apps work reliably and connect quickly with the e-bike. Simple click devices for smartphone covers must also become the standard. More e-bike manufacturers need to realize that the smartphone is the better e-bike display and replace expensive bike computers with mini displays. Finally, manufacturers of e-bikes and motors must offer open interfaces. Only then, independent developers can create high-quality e-bike apps. Besides, the generational change will also accelerate the trend towards smartphones. Currently, there are still many older e-bike riders who have little smartphone affinity, but that will change soon. Overall, our conclusion is clear. It will still take some time before smartphones completely replace e-bike displays, also because many e-bike apps currently available are not as good as they could be. In the long run, however, the trend of smartphones replacing bike computers can no longer be stopped. The combination of smartphone and app is simply much more powerful than any e-bike display. You just have to use its potential. We at PowUnity are already doing this. PowUnity is a developer of smart theft protection for e-bikes. In combination with the GPS tracker BikeTrax, the PowUnity app gives you the possibility to track your e-bike in real time and to transmit its location directly to the police in the event of a theft. In addition, you will be alerted via smartphone as soon as someone moves your e-bike without permission. All in all, you will benefit from the most efficient e-bike theft protection currently available on the market. In 2023, we will go one step further and make it possible to use your PowUnity app as a display replacement. But of course, this will be in addition to the proven theft protection and other features. That's all from me today. Would you like to get more tips on e-bike safety and GPS technology? Then check out our PowUnity Explains topic page. Every week you will find the information you need to protect your e-bike from theft. You can find the link in the video description down below. Or do you prefer to inform yourself here on YouTube? Then subscribe to our channel by clicking on this button. And don't miss any of our PowUnity Explains videos.